So it is streaming.
Yep. That might take a bit. There you go.
Okay, so now I need the link. That is not the... So I can do this. Go on here. The link. That is not... All right, we are live. I think. Are we live? Do we have confirmation that we are live? This happens every single time. And it's live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 150th LiveCast for the Hodder Show, the 2-year anniversary. I'm very stoked to be here with you guys for this Q&A. We're going to hang out and have a good time. We've already got people in the chat. I also have a very big announcement later on in the podcast, or LiveCast, I guess, for this technically. And it is a earth-shattering announcement. But before I go any further, I do have a studio audience here today. So big round of applause to the studio audience. It's probably not Brandon and Ryan and Amanda. Yeah, it's probably not them. So if you hear any random noises or any yelling or anything, I believe they are watching the Super Bowl. Is that? Do we have confirmation that the Super Bowl is on?
Oh yeah, we're losing.
Okay. So if you are in fact tuning in and not watching the Super Bowl, I can keep you guys updated if anyone asks at any point during the LiveCast. So we're gonna just jump right into it here in the chat. Prog Rocker, what's up, man? What's going on? Mr. Martin Prince, what's up, buddy? Mr. Porter, what's up, man? So I'm gonna be on for about an hour. So if you have any questions or anything, I can just dive into them. Usually I kind of like BS around for like 10 or 15 minutes like an idiot and kind of scramble for some kind of I do thank yous and all that, but I'm just kind of going to skip that, I think, this time around because, you know, you guys have tuned in enough to know who I thank and, and all that fun stuff. So we have 7 people watching, so what's up? Be sure to join in the chat and say hey. I believe we have everything shared on all of the platforms, at least on the YouTube, which is on the Facebook. And we have a very good setup, actually, if you guys are noticing this wonderful that is in front of me. The producer, Mr. Brandon Bowden, went out and bought himself some very nice equipment. So now when I want to do a podcast, I just come over to his house. Even if he's sleeping and he doesn't know it, I come over anyway and do a podcast. Mr. Jason Reese, what's up, man? Thank you for joining in. Martin says, "Go Birds." You got a boo from the studio audience. I'm not a football guy at all, Martin. Like, I have no idea. Who's playing? It's Patriots and who?
The Eagles.
The Eagles. So, yeah, Birds. That makes sense.
That's the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. Even TJ knows the Patriots are in it.
Yeah, even I know. So we have Mr. Dylan Porter right away with a question. Here's a question. When are we doing the podcast? Soon, man. Soon. It's got to happen. I keep saying to everybody, like, let me get through this weekend, this live cast, and then, like, we'll figure it all out. This has been a long time coming. It's been a crazy last few weeks kind of in preparation for this. There's been a lot going on, but if you are listening, I would really appreciate if you guys could take a quick second to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Obviously, if you are watching, you have a YouTube account. So I would really appreciate if you guys would subscribe. Maybe share it as well on the old Facebook ski. Always appreciate that, as I want to make this as big as possible because we do have a very big announcement. And just for the sake of it, while we're on the topic of housekeeping, you will notice to my left or right? My left. Yeah, left, I think. You will see the all of the social media all under the Hodder Show for the Twitter, for the Facebook, Instagram, all that fun stuff. Be sure to go ahead and follow on there. Give us a like if you have not. Mr. Cashador Jones is in the house. For those of you who are not familiar, Mr. Cashador Jones is my co-host on the podcast Two Guys in a Game. Everybody say hi, Kaz. Everyone say hi to everyone in the chat. Bowden Prod. I don't know who that is. I'm curious. Oatmeal Jones. It's all about the oatmeal. That's what it's all about. That's for you, Kaz. That's an inside joke ski. Jason Reese, going to see a band for a bit from Vancouver. We'll tape a bit for you. Awesome. Appreciate that, man. Prog Rocker saying, hey, real quick, if you guys are not familiar, Mr. Prog Rocker here, he just started a YouTube series playing some Minecraft, a survival. So you guys should definitely go and check that out, as it is very good. Very, very good. And I'm not really a Minecraft fan, and I'm not really a big gaming streaming guy. Aside from when it's my buddies, really. You're never gonna catch me sitting down watching some game streaming. It's very rare unless it is my buddies. But he is very good, so you guys should definitely go ahead and check him out. Show him some love, as he's also a wonderful human being. Mr. John Ward is in the house. The world famous Mr. John Ward. What's up, man? One of my favorite guests of all time on the Hodder Show, the #1 fan of the Hodder Show. And I just realized that the basic info for this is still for the 100th episode LiveCast. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and delete that for now. Whatever. Is what it is. Because we're just jumping into this here. The Heel RW, I wonder who that is. So how does it feel to make it to 150? Did you think this would happen? Should I just turn around and talk to you, Ryan, or is that...
No, just pretend I'm the commenter.
Okay. You can probably hear them in the background. Something happened. I'm not sure what. So how does it feel to get to 150? The Heel Ryan would ask this question. Well, basically, it feels pretty damn good. I definitely knew it would happen. As when I got to episode 100, I was kind of like, yeah, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna just kind of keep going and plugging along. But it's still very cool to hit yet another big milestone like this. Prog Rocker, thanks for the shout out. Of course, man. Of course. I have not played Fortnite, Dylan. Dylan Porter asked if I played Fortnite. I have not. I've heard a lot of really good stuff about it, but I have not played it. From what I understand, it's basically a cartoon version, kind of like Player... How's that game called? PlayerUnknown Battleground. Kind of similar. But it's like more cartoony and stuff like that. Amanda, hey TJ. Hi Amanda, how's it going? If you guys have any questions at all about literally anything, jump on it. Now is the time where I'm not doing any awkward 20-minute monologue of me talking about how thankful I am for everybody and all that kind of fun stuff, because I feel like I've done that enough. We have some interaction in the chat, which always makes me happy. Not a gravestone. Kaz, I do not understand what you're talking about. You're going to have to fill me in. Oh, yes. Not a gravestone. Yes, I got it. See, that's why he's the producer. I should really just have him on the other side of this table with a microphone. Probably make this a lot easier. Martin had 70 pounds of Chinese food, and it was glorious. I could go for 70 pounds of Chinese food right now, actually. That would be pretty dope. That would be pretty dope. I wish I had Chinese food too, John. I really do. That would be very exciting. So Prog Rocker asks, what would you say are the 3 most important things you've learned about hosting a podcast? Having a studio audience is great, But if you're like me and are extremely easily distracted by anything, it can be very, very difficult to stay focused. I feel like I've gotten a little better at it, considering that I'm not looking at them right now, even though I know they're there. That was something that kind of we started doing on, like, I think it was episode 75, I want to say, because the 50th episode, aside from Brandon being here and kind of just hanging out and making sure everything was running well, and a run-in from Mr. Jason Reese, we didn't have a studio audience. But episode 75 we did, episode 100 we did. So I think it's cool, and it's growing. So that's exciting. Hopefully next time we'll have, like, you know, like 4 people, and then like 5. And then when I get to episode 1000, we'll have like 10 people. It'll be sweet. So something, actually, seriously, 3 things I have learned about hosting a podcast. Number 1, actually, this is some advice that you gave me, Nathan, when I released my first episode. I'm assuming you mean like important things I've learned as far as about podcasting, or just in general. Don't even start with me. Don't even start with me. You guys definitely didn't hear that, but it was a boat horn. That's callback to episode 75, the forgotten LiveCast, a LiveCast that I hate and
well, that mic picked up everything too.
Yeah, this mic doesn't pick up everything, but I don't want to hear any boat horns because I'm trying to be a professional, podcaster, streamer here and answer a question.
Not what you said on this podcast about being professional.
Hi?
You've never said being professional on the podcast.
Yeah, I know, but like I'm gonna try to be.
Oh, so this is the turning point.
Yes, this is it. 150, excuse me. We're gonna try and be professional now. So Prog Rocker, maybe you can confirm that you are indeed talking about things I've learned about podcasting, or just things I've learned in general from hosting a podcast, because I can definitely say 3 things for both. Yeah, I got it, Cass. Sorry. What is only sort of awesome, by the way? I'm curious. It's just you. You're only sort of awesome because you are awesome. Thank you, John. I use Mean Beard product. I have my oil and balm in today, so that's cool. Martin, I will answer your question. I'm just waiting for some. Okay, so Prog Rocker, just in general about what you do, things you think about when you're hosting and stuff. One thing definitely actually was what I was going to say, was something that you actually told me. The first episode especially, I was talking in circles, and I still do that a lot. That's just kind of who I am. But you will maybe lay things out, like have things kind of jotted down in front of you. Not necessarily read off a script, but say I'm doing an episode about water. And I'm like, I need to talk about this and this and this and this and this. And I don't want to trail off too much and talk about a whole bunch of other crap that if I'm doing a specific topic, no one wants to hear about something else, in my opinion, with my show anyway. So I have things jotted down in front of me. That's something I think is very important for any type of streamer or YouTuber or anyone who's doing any kind of recorded entertainment or live entertainment. You either want to have it jotted down and have some notes, or you want to have your bullet points memorized. You don't necessarily have to read off a script, but that's definitely something that is, I think, is key if you want to be a good entertainer and kind of keep things moving forward. Something else that's very important is health, which you might think is a little silly for me to say, but I definitely try to take a little bit better care of myself now, in the sense of making sure I'm drinking enough water, making sure I at least get some vegetables and fruit once in a blue moon, because there's nothing worse than when you're a podcaster, even a hobby podcaster like myself, and you're sick all the time. I'm sick all the time. So I've literally actually started taking vitamins and stuff to try and combat that, because there's nothing worse than when you're, especially if you're doing a big show or something coming up, and you're sick. That's the absolute worst. So if you have a big interview coming up and you're sick and you have to cancel it, or you just tough through it like me, and it's either going to turn out really good or really crappy. And something else I've learned is the number one thing is networking. There's people in this chat right now that I've networked with through this podcast that I would not have known because of this podcast. So I'm very grateful for that. I have friends that I would not have from this podcast. But even just connecting with other podcasters and trying to spread the word about this show and about their show. That's something very important that I think some people do forget, especially like when you get to that next level. If there's podcasts that have helped you out in the past, like shows that have helped me out in the past, like a show like Fork Found, I always try to plug them and give them all kinds of love and stuff like that, even though they unfortunately are no longer a podcast. But even like, of course, now that I'm trying to actually think about it, I'm going to literally draw a blank. Even like the Roman Podcast, which are another Canadian show, they've given me a lot of shout outs in the past, so I always try to plug them when I can. And there's a whole bunch, that I could shout out right now, but I'm just completely drawing a blank because I'm trying to stay on topic here. But even with like any type of creator, you always want to try and network with them and shout them out if they give you a shout out. Nothing upsets me more than when I take the time to give someone a shout out, especially if they're new to like the podcast game and they don't say anything back, even like a thumbs up on Facebook or anything. Like I'm just kind of like, man, like it just kind of sucks when that happens. So that's definitely something that I have learned to make sure I keep on top of. If someone does give me a shout out or says something nice about what I do, I always try to make sure I go to my way to thank them or just stay on top of it. Stay on top of as well as your audience. If someone says something nice to you or they give you a good review or they subscribe or share you on Facebook, you always want to try and keep up on that kind of stuff. Martin asks, what am I listening to lately? Well, there's this great band called A Dog Named Bob. And I've listened to that a lot lately. I'm going to be honest. My playlist right now is pretty much, I'm trying to think. Like I have a Spotify playlist, but it's mostly like random like 2000s new metal songs and like hard rock songs. But then the one band that I've been really digging lately is they're called Bad Wolves. They just released a song that was a cover of Zombie. And it's really, really good. I really like those guys. Tommy Vex, the vocalist, he's amazing. He actually did the theme song for Baron Corbin. If you guys are wrestling fans, he's that guy. His band Bad Wolves, very, very good. There's some music I'm really looking forward to that's coming out this year. Dog Named Bob, obviously. That EP. Some Forsaken Empire coming up soon, hopefully as well. Shoutouts to them. Hopefully some Nothing Serious, perhaps, as well. But that is a question for another time. So, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think what else I've been listening to. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, honestly. Like, I've been catching up on podcasts. A show that I've really been enjoying now that I'm finally caught up on it, because I was like 2 or 3 episodes behind, is there's a couple. There's Drinks with Larry, which is one I really enjoy. So shoutouts to them. The Amazing Nerd Show, shoutouts to them as well. I really like their podcast. And then my standards I always listen to, the Josta Show. I was like 7 episodes behind on the Josta Show, which is unacceptable for me because without the Josta Show, there would be no Hodder Show, obviously, and Talk is Jericho. Also been listening to a couple of episodes of Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard. But as far as music, like I've been slacking, man. I've just been listening to my old standards. I was playing a bunch of Alice in Chains the other day, so that's always good. But I'll kind of maybe think on that more. I'm trying to think of really what I've been listening to. So the heel asks, and I'm really behind in the chat, guys. I apologize. That question that Prog Rocker asked me really got my brain going. So the heel RW asks, what has been your most favorite moment during the podcast series? Oh, God. There's been a couple. I'll give you 3. Number 1 is when I had Sam on. That probably is my favorite moment just because of what it represented to me, because it was a one-time deal. It's never gonna happen again, and it was just so awesome to see her in that element and be able to just, it wasn't like an interview. I think it was really impromptu, and I kind of wish I could do it again because I would be a little more prepared, and I didn't have the board set up properly because I didn't really know how to use it. It was a new board and everything, but like it was just so awesome to see her in that element and hear her in that element. I would listen to that podcast all the time. Having Mr. Jason Reese show up during the 50th LiveCast with the t-shirts was an amazing moment. because that was something I didn't see coming at all. It was really, really cool to be sitting over there, actually, as he's moved his desk, and see him come from behind a curtain holding a box of t-shirts. That was very cool. And definitely another moment was actually just the first time someone reached out to me and basically said, hey man, like, your show, I actually read a letter. I don't remember. I think it was on the 100th episode LiveCast, or I don't remember when it was, but someone basically sent me an email. I will not disclose their name or anything because they asked me not to, but and they basically were like, I've had a really crappy year and your show has really helped me through this year, so I just wanted to say thank you, and that really meant a lot to me. So it wasn't necessarily something that happened during the podcast per se, but that was definitely a really special moment to me. Even if it's just one person who has said, like, you've helped me through something just by doing what you do. That's when you're, as a creator, that's all you really want, I think. My number one goal is to try and entertain people and take you out of your life for an hour or so once a week. So that definitely meant a lot to me. Michelle, hey, how's it going? Hope you are doing well and everything is going well with you. I'm really behind in the chat, guys. I apologize. Usually I'm really far ahead, so this is awesome. Kaz asked, do you feel accomplished now as a podcaster? Yes, I do. Accomplished may mean different things to different people, but I'm very happy with where I'm at with the Hodder Show, and I'm very happy with where we're at with you guys in the game, obviously, of course. And the big announcement I have a little later it definitely is kind of a combination of all of that. So I definitely think I feel as accomplished as I can being a hobby, small-time podcaster. Michelle, I don't have a question, but I would love to hear your best impressions of The Rock meets TJ Bider if you smell what I'm cooking. I don't know if I could do an impression of The Rock.
Don't look at us. I don't
Anyone? Impression of The Rock? Anyone? Uh-oh.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me think for a second. Now, do you want me to do Dwayne The Rock Johnson or just The Rock? Because those are two very different people. I think I could do just Dwayne Johnson. He's easy. But I don't know if I could do The Rock. But if I can do Dwayne Johnson, then I'll do Dwayne Johnson. So I'm me, obviously, interviewing Dwayne Johnson. Real quick here. I'll do my best. Gotta get into character. So we're here with Dwayne Johnson. So Dwayne, I just want to have a quick question for you here. What helps you and inspires you to get up at 5 a.m. and do a workout? Well, you get up in the morning and there's two things you can do. You can either go back to bed or you can get up, you can conquer the day. Every day I get up, I want to give 150,000%. I get up every single morning and I want to attack the day. And I want to make the day my bitch. That's what you need to do. That's what everybody needs to do. That was my horrible impression of The Rock. Not The Rock, but Dwayne Johnson. Watch any interview Dwayne Johnson's ever done, and he basically gives an answer like that. It makes me really happy. That was horrible. I apologize. Amanda said, hang on here, where'd it go? There's Amanda said she's going to start binge listening to the show. She wants you to quiz her at the end of the month. Do me a favor, start at episode 90. You can just skip everything else. No, there's some good stuff in there, but I will do my best to quiz you. I forget a lot of stuff too, so I might just be like, oh, here's she's even going to listen to the 75th episode live stream. Shoutouts to Boat Horns. Yes. Shoutouts to Boat Horns. Oh, stop the presses. Everybody stop what you're doing. 2027's Man of the Year, Mr. Adam Lintloff, has joined the stream. I don't know how long ago this was. I'm sorry, buddy, if you've been waiting for 5 minutes for me to say that, but I shout out your podcast out my window. Does that still count? Yes, buddy, I appreciate it. Tomba Wamba, what's up, buddy? Mean bearded brother, what's going on, man? Thank you for checking this out. Really appreciate it. Bowden Prod, do you have a least favorite episode? 52.
What?
Episode 52. Actually, let me double check that real quick. Hang on.
I thought you were just randomly counting a number, saying a number.
No. I'm not even. Okay, you guys can't hear him. I'm sorry. I keep responding to him. You can't hear him. He said, "Oh, I thought you were just yelling out random numbers." No. There was an episode I did, and this was during the dark days of the Hodder Show when I did 2 episodes a week. I shouldn't call it the dark days because there was a lot of amazing content in there, but just it got to be a lot, trying to do 2 episodes a week. But there was an episode I did where I was really inspired to basically say to people, like, don't worry about what other people think. If you want to do, I had a conversation with somebody and they were like, oh man, I'd love to do what you do, but like, I'd be too afraid of what people would think. And I was just like, man, screw those people. Do what you want to do and don't worry about what they think. And I was really inspired to talk about it. So I jumped on the podcast and I recorded this, what I thought was a very inspiring podcast, and then entitled it, Do What You Want and Screw Everybody Else. And let's just say that that's not how it came across at all. And I believe it was episode 53. For some reason, SoundCloud is not loading, but I believe it was episode 53, I believe. So that's definitely my least favorite episode. Episode 75 really isn't actually that bad. I just felt like I was not on my A game that day. Time for Rick and Morty back and forth. You can do it, Super Chief. That's some Kaz. So Kaz wants to hear some Rick and Morty back and forth. Oh, God. Can I do Rick and Morty right now? Let me get some water real quick. I'll try and do a Rick and Morty back and forth. And by the way, we can see Bowden a little bit. He's there. Reach your arm up, Brandon.
No, they can hear me, I think they meant.
Oh, here. Yes. You can also see him, though. A little bit. Yeah, sorry, Michelle. I know that probably wasn't the best. You know who does a really good rock impression is Kevin Hart. He does it like spot on. It's really, really funny. Rick and Morty, here we go. I have to like do it, and then I'll kind of get into it, but you'll see what I mean. Oh, geez, Rick. It looks like we're on a podcast again. Some kind of a live stream. Damn it, Morty. It's not a freaking podcast if it's live, you imbecile. Damn it, Morty. You're such a freaking idiot sometimes. Rick, why do you have to insult me so much? You know what, Morty? Just shut up. Just stop being such a tool. Damn it, Morty. So yeah, that was my my Rick and Morty. I want to like do one sometime and have like, I keep looking back at you. I want to do one sometime and have like a script in front of me and try and actually see if I can actually go back and forth, because I don't know enough like quotes from the show. Doing it live. Ladies and gentlemen, the love of my life, Miss Samantha Light, has joined the live stream. That makes me very happy. Hello. That's right, I just did that. Everybody else can suck it. She asked, what was the best moment from the Royal Rumble? I can tell you what wasn't the best moment from the Royal Rumble, and that was the Ronda Rousey debut. I digress. My favorite moment, honest, like the moment that made me just like kind of go, oh my God, was when the Hurricane came back. Honestly. Same with Mysterio, obviously. But I got really, really happy when I saw Hurricane. That really made me happy. Why do you feel Rick and Morty is good and not completely overrated? Just dig in the hole. I think it's funny, and I didn't like it at first. It was really actually Kaz that got me like way into it. And the number one thing is just, I love the voices so much. You can ask Sam. I annoy her all the time by literally talking like Rick and Morty constantly, to the point where I wanted to get cats and name them Rick and Morty just so I could yell at them. Or just Morty, so I can just be like, damn it, Morty! Morty! But that being said, every once in a while, I will catch her saying, "Aw, geez, Rick," even though not in the Morty voice, but it's happened, so. But yeah, I don't necessarily hate on people who don't like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Is what it is. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I just find that it's so out there, and it's so just almost stupid random and stupid funny sometimes that it just warms my heart. Like, I love Family Guy, and I love how it's just so stupid sometimes. And Rick and Morty's basically like an intelligent, I don't want to say intelligent version of that. It's pretty stupid sometimes, but it's a universe where literally anything and everything can happen at any time, and you just, once you accept that and take it for what it is, I think it's hilarious. But yeah, I definitely appreciate the fact that a lot of people don't like it. Do you know any good pun pickup lines? It's probably going to be a no on that one, buddy. I have a pickup line I can say. Hey, baby, do you believe in love at first sight, or should I walk by again? Ha Yeah. Sam will know what I mean. That was for Sam.
That was so bad.
Jesus God.
That's the line I used on Sam when I first met her. No. No.
How do you put an accent on tagged?
He said, how do I put an accent on tagged? That's a story for another time. No, it was when I actually met her in person. Yeah, Brandon, shots fired. Shots fired by the Ronda Rousey thing. Brandon, what was your podcast resolution for 2018? To try and get somewhat better at it. That's like the number one thing. Try to get somewhat better at it and try and like grow. Darn it. That's what we're trying to do here. Try to entertain more people while still attempting to, get better, I guess. Maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, podcast resolution probably just to try and get better at podcasting. The live thing, I feel like I'm just kind of am what I am with it. I don't know if I'm ever going to get better at this whole LiveCast thing unless I start doing them like all the time, which in a way I would love to do and give it a shot to see if I could get better at it. But I like podcasting too much. Does Kaz affect your life in ways you didn't expect? I never thought I'd be a huge Rick and Morty fan. That's probably the number one thing that Castro Jones has done. I never thought I'd be a Rick and Morty fan, or have a gaming podcast. That too. Pun pickup line. How's the oatmeal? It's not funny when it's like in context like that, though. You know what I mean? Like it's. We'll talk about that another time. And Sam says it is lies. I have never used it. I never used a pickup line on you, did I, babe? I don't remember. I don't think I did. No, I don't think I ever did. No, maybe jokingly, but I never actually was like, Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? 'Cause you're an angel, or something like that. I just butchered that pickup line. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Adam, that pickup line I used is from there's a doll. Not a doll. There's like a little plush dog that I fell in love with. Sam and I were walking through a store, and there was this little dog that you pushed, and it was like a Valentine's Day thing. And he was French, obviously. And he had a whole bunch of like little sayings, and the one that really made me laugh was the love at first sight, or should I walk by again? Oh, and then well, here I am. What were your other 3 wishes? That's another really funny one. I like that one too. Yeah, and Sam's never coming back. It'd be cool if she did, but I would never push that because I'm happy just to have her in my life and have her. I'm happy with that. So, yeah. Not going to happen, Ryan or Brandon. Sam is not starring in Light at Night. As much, I mean, as much as that would be really cool, you know what I mean. I'd listen. So I got a Facebook comment here that I want to just point out real quick. Mr. Josh Covell, who is the host of a wonderful podcast that I did forget to mention earlier that I'm a big fan of, a Still Loading podcast. He said, "Yo, man, tuning in now. Congrats on 150th. Thank you, man." I'm not sure if you are watching right now. I hope you are. If you are, definitely be sure to join the chat if you have any questions or anything like that. Sam says that was lame of me to say. Yes, it was. I'm a pretty lame dude. You know, as you know. Martin is back. Sam, yeah, sorry, man. It's all you. It's all you. Sam wants nothing to do with it, which is okay. As cool as it would be, it's it was okay. I've stopped just kind of joking about it and pushing it because, yeah, I'm just happy to. I'm just happy to have her in my life. I mean, let's be serious. Sam is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like I'm not even joking around. Martin would like to ask, what did you do for episode 69? LOL. Well, the intro of that episode, I did Peter Griffin laughing after I said episode 69, so I thought that was kind of funny. Actually, funny story, I did one about resting beard face, which is something that I was going to try and kind of make my gimmick, if you will. And then I realized it was actually trademarked by someone who doesn't use it. I wanted to make t-shirts and everything. I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever came up with. And then I realized I didn't come up with it, as is most things I think are really funny I come up with. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, I did resting beard face. I talked about resting bitch face as well, which of course beard face is the male equivalent to resting bitch face. And the fact that I am a sufferer of resting beard face, because people will be like, "Oh, what's your problem? You look so mad today." And I'll be like, "I'm in a really good mood. What?" So that's what I did for that, Martin. Episode 69. LOL. I have to say LOL after every time because I'm very immature. The heel. Why is there not a female presence on the show? Actual question. I've had two, and one I really just one, because one was with someone else, so it's kind of it didn't really count. I don't know. Who wants to be on the show? You know. I don't really have an answer to that. Hey Amanda, want to be on the show? If she'd have Sam's on it, she'd be on the show. But that's yeah, that's that. Light at Night, where women talk about things that pertain to women of today, like women stuff. That's good. Good sell, Brandon. Good. Oatmeal gimmick. Hate stale oatmeal. Yes, oatmeal is wonderful, Kaz. We know oatmeal is wonderful. Adam, how do you think us as human beings will be able to fight global warming and the global food shortage? I was wondering when you would ask me a serious question, Adam, because you always do. Stop dumping toxic waste in the freaking ocean. That would probably help. Start using more green products and start looking at renewable sources of energy. They exist. Let's work on those more. As far as the global food shortage, let's all just stop eating for a day. We'll be good. Brandon says Amanda wants to be on the show. Cool. Awesome. Let's make it happen. Kaz would like to know what game taught me how to read. That would be Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. That game basically literally taught me how to read. Link to the Four Swords of Time. Yes, that's a good game. I really enjoy that game. Brandon says, I could see TJ turning a double date into a podcast. I would probably try, because I'm just that person. I can turn anything into a podcast. I really can. The heel would like to know, do I watch the Olympics? If not, why do I hate your country? It's not that I hate our country. It's that I just do not want to watch the Olympics anymore. I just don't. Because no, I'll tell you why I don't watch the Olympics. Because the one time I watched, I tried to like make a comment on something, and everybody shut me down because they were like, "You don't know anything about what you're talking about." And I was like, "This is why I don't watch sports." I blame Brandon for that. See if Brandon can remember what that comment was. I can see him turning away. What's that? Yeah, Zach, I will turn it into a podcast, man. You know that. Is there anything you won't try and turn into a podcast? Yes, actually. There is. There's a lot I will not try and turn into a podcast. Like really personal stuff. I might touch on it. Like I always say, I tell you guys everything because that's just me. That's what I've always tried to do with the show. But, you know, there are certain things I just won't talk about. Adam, why does Zelda always have bad endings? It's not that they have bad endings. They just sometimes can be a little anticlimactic. Maybe. That's what I think. Brandon says, hold on, I missed the question. I'm not sure what question you are referring to, Mr. Bowden. The heel, RW, you're forced to watch a season of a sport. What sport do you watch? Wrestling. You know what, Ryan? He said it's not a sport. I probably... You'll catch me watching hockey once in a while. Like, if it's on, then I'm just kind of sitting there. I'll watch. So I'd probably just watch hockey. Because I'm a Canadian, eh? Radio, eh? Who is Zach? I apologize. I don't know who this Zach guy is. I've never heard of him before. That's very interesting. I don't know who this Zach guy is. But I believe now it is time for the big special. Oh, Amanda had a feature on the live stream. I'm seeing it now. I believe it is now time for the big announcement. This is a big, podcast changing thing here, guys. And I'm very excited. It has been a long time coming. And some of you in this chat already know what that is. It's not really going to change anything in the sense of how this show is ran and how I kind of do things weekly with the podcast. It's just kind of almost like a cool, thing. And that is quite a while ago, for those of you who have been following the show pretty much since day one, which if you have, thank you very much for that. I have always joked around about, I don't remember exactly where it started. I think it started around episode 30 of me joking around about a network. The Hodder Show network. And I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be great. And, I'm going to have, all this stuff going on. And real quick, Adam, no, this is definitely not how we would announce it. See, something like that. Like, eventually I would definitely be like, hey guys, I'm going to be a dad, because I'd be fucking thrilled about it. And I actually would be not. That came off really salty. I didn't mean for it to come off like that. I would be super hyped to be a dad. But I would not announce it like that. Definitely not. So back to what I was saying. I'm pretty sure everyone on the chat right now, who's in the chat at least, already knows this announcement, but I'm going to keep going anyway. I've been talking about the network thing for a while, joking around about it for a while. I wasn't sure if it would ever actually turn into anything, but it has. Ladies and gentlemen, myself and the co-founder, Mr. Brandon Bowden, the producer, would like to present to you all the next multimedia empire, Podbeard. If you look in the chat right now, you will find the link. I will also post said link in the event page, which is going right to the website, the Podbeard Network website. Let me just go to the page. Yes. Oh! So basically, like I said, this has been a very long time coming. It's something I've always joked around about. Nothing is going to change in the sense of how the Hodder Show is done and how things are recorded and how things are put out. Really, what Podbeard is it's a culmination of Brandon and I's kind of vision and work, even though Brandon will say it's my vision and whatever. And it's just basically a network of friends. Actually, let me literally read right off the website what I have here. We are a collection of podcasters, YouTubers, and streamers, all of which who I'm launching with my friends. And we have one goal, and that is to entertain you. We have podcasts and shows covering a wide variety of topics. Obviously, with the podcast, we cover music, gaming, life, pop culture, news, paranormal, wrestling, a whole bunch of stuff, tons of stuff, with more content that is definitely going to be coming our way in the future. And also, we have shows that are basically game streaming and streamers, which is really, really cool. That was kind of a last-minute decision. Originally, this was just going to be strictly a podcast network. But my good friend, Mr. Prog Rocker, and my good friend, Mr. Dark Runner, have been killing the kind of the game streaming stuff. And I just kind of decided, like, hey, like, how would you guys like to be a part of this? And they were like, yeah, that'd be great. So I just figured, let's just do it. Let's not just do podcasting. Let's try and hit everybody. Let's have something for everyone. And basically, what this is it's a network, but it's a network of friends who are supporting each other. You can go to podbeardnetwork.com, and if you guys are on there right now, you can see we have 2 different drop-down menus for podcasts and for shows. So you can find everything on there. It's super easy, really easy to navigate. It will probably grow with time, as you know, as things go on. But basically, you're not going to notice a whole lot is going to change with the Hodder Show, with 2 guys in a game, with Radio A. We're pretty much, aside from the opening of the shows, you might hear more shoutouts to other Podbeard Network shows, which is the number one reason why we decided to do this. You know, it's not really going to add a whole lot of extra stuff to what we do. It's basically just now culmination of all of us kind of joining up and joining together and supporting each other. So I'm very excited about it. It's been a long time coming. I was super hyped to launch this. Like I said, a few people already did know, obviously those who were involved with it. But just kind of quickly to run through the different podcasts that we have. We have our main 3. Of course, we have, I don't want to call it the flagship show, but the Hodder Show obviously is one of the shows. Every Thursday you will find that show where you already enjoy it. Of course, we have 2 Guys in a Game, which airs every single Tuesday. It's myself and Kaz. We have Radio A, which Mr. Brandon Bowden, producer Brandon Bowden. who I looked back to see, and he's not there. He, of course, is he's killing it. He's kind of on a bit of a hiatus at the moment, but he's going to be coming back, hopefully. Going strong. I'm looking very forward to having him on board, hopefully doing a weekly show. I'd be very excited about that. And then we have a show that is being launched with this. It will be coming very, very soon, and that is the official Mics and Beers podcast, which is strictly a monthly show. The first episode of that will be up soon, very soon, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, possibly sooner. Brandon's a very busy man. He's a very busy producer. But I'm very excited about that. And there's other podcasters that I have been in contact with who would like to be involved. It's just a matter of figuring out the logistics in that. So there may or may not be announcements basically the rest of the year with different shows who are going to join up. And again, like I said, this is mostly, it's a promotion thing. It's not necessarily, there's no money involved or anything. You know, we might have different advertisements and stuff like that, but that's all eventually. As well as if you go on the site there, we have the shows category, which you will find Prog Rocker and Dark Runner Gaming. You will also find, unfortunately, they were not able to make it out to the live stream, but you will find the Honestly Lazy Show, which of course is your boy Stick and Craig. They're very, very new. I didn't tell them I was announcing this with this LiveCast, but I just kind of said, you know, they're already a part of it. I enjoy their show. Justin has been super supportive of me and everything that we do here at the Hodder Show, and he was really stoked that they kind of offered him and Craig to be a part of it. So they have a YouTube podcast. You can also find it as just an audio podcast as well, on the SoundCloud and all that. So definitely go check them out. Check out all the shows with the network. I mean, obviously you listen to the Hodder Show because you're watching this right now, but definitely go ahead and check it out because there's some great content there, and I'm really, really excited about this. You can also check out the sponsors. Of course, Jaybird Digital Arts, my man, Mr. Jason Reese, who has been super supportive of this. All of the graphics on this website is all done by Jason. And then, of course, we also have Mean Beard, which if you are a bearded brother, definitely go ahead and check that out. But that is just kind of neither here nor there. We also all have a contact page. You can find links to our social medias and all that if you want to email us about anything at all. Definitely go ahead and hit us up. If you are a show that would like to be involved with us, hit us up because that's what it's all about. Again, it is a promotion thing. That's what we're trying to do here. Obviously, I want this to grow, and I want to kind of bring everybody up, and I want to support everybody. So if you are a creator and you want to be involved with us, definitely let me know. Podbeard is, I know it's a bit of a weird name, and just quickly to tell the story behind that, I was getting really frustrated trying to come up with a name. Excuse me. And I texted Brandon one fateful evening, and I quote, "Man, I'm getting so frustrated with this, LOL. I feel like the name is literally right under my nose." And then the producer, Mr. Brandon Bowden, responds back with Podbeard. And I laughed, and I said, what a stupid name. Like, only we could come up with something like that, right? And I was like, oh, man, that's kind of, like, what could a tagline be for that? Like, that's so silly. And then he responds with hashtag Hear the Beard. And I went, okay. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hear the Beard, really? Like, that's kind of... The number one thing with this is it's kind of a... I didn't want the network name to be too serious, but I think it's awesome. I really think it's funny. I think it's great. I've had a few people who I've told hugely compliment, and they're like, dude, like that's awesome. It's hilarious. The logo is top notch. Once I had the logo, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm totally behind this. I think this is great. So definitely go ahead and check it out. This website is replacing thehoddershow.com. Now, if you would like to check out anything to do with The Hodder Show, it is just www.podbeardnetwork.com /The Hodder Show. I'm gonna have to get used to that because I'm used to just saying www.thehoddershow.com. So I'm gonna have to get used to that. But I'm very excited about that, guys. This is really, really cool to finally be able to launch this. More content coming as well with that, with the launch of Mics and Beers. Hopefully more content as well coming soon from Prog Rocker. He's pretty much doing weekly stuff. I do believe you can ask him in the chat yourself. Honest with Lazy Show as well, pretty much do weekly. And yeah, that's the announcement. Hopefully it wasn't disappointing for you guys, but I was really, really excited about that. Super, super hyped. Yeah, Prog Rocker, best informative Minecraft YouTuber for sure. When does G Godfrey get added to the network, Brandon? Hopefully Brandon answered that in the later ventures here. Yeah, your average noob is not involved with Podbeard at all. From what I understand, they have been officially killed off. They're dead. They killed him. Emily, hey, thanks for coming out. Congrats, the site looks awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'm laughing because like I really liked the way I had the Hodder Show site designed, so I pretty much just kind of messed around with it and tried to make it look a little more unique. But again, it's very, very simple. It's cool. I'm really digging it, and I think Podbeard is a name that when you first hear it, you kind of chuckle, and then you're kind of like, well, wait, like what is it? You know what I mean? Like, what is this Podbeard thing? And we are a multimedia network. And I'm very excited about that because I thought the podcast thing was cool, just having a podcast network. But, you know, not everybody likes podcasts. So some people like this kind of stuff. So we have something for everybody. Oh, so Prog Rocker does it twice weekly. New episode tomorrow, and I'm half done episode 6. That's awesome to hear. So, guys, keep a lookout on the Prog Rocker YouTube channel. You can go to podbeardnetwork.com/Prog Rocker. Sorry, Prog Rocker. And you can find him on there. And you'll actually, what I'm going to do is basically, it'll be updated with his latest video, or at least a video from that week. So you guys can go ahead and check that out. Sometimes it takes a couple days to refresh. So it may not be the exact latest episode, but you can, if you click on it, you can go right to his YouTube channel. You can click subscribe to his YouTube channel right on the page. So definitely go ahead and show him some love. He's a good friend of mine, and I'm very excited that he is involved with this project. As I am with everybody else who's involved with it. Very exciting. Tom, thank you. Congrats on the site, brother. Thank you very much, Tom. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for coming out. It's the Podbeard thing. I really like it, and I think the logo makes it. Like, people are kind of like, what is? And then when you see the logo, you're like, okay, I got it. It makes sense now. So I'm really glad you enjoy it, man. Mr. Jason Reese from J. Bridgers Large did do that logo, as he is a man. Prog Rocker, do you find you mine yourself into a hole? That's a question for him. Anti-podcasters, where TJ? Oh. What? I don't understand what you're saying, man. The Zoms got Prog Rocker today. Well, that's not good. That's no good, man. You gotta get on that stuff. Can't be letting those zombies kill you off. So for those of you who are left in the chat, if there are any more questions that you would like to ask, definitely feel free to ask away. Gonna go for a few more minutes here. I do have some questions. What I like to do, if someone asks me a question that I think is like a really interesting question, or it's something relating to the podcast, I like to jot it down, and I always answer the question to the person, obviously, but then I like to answer it on these live casts. I just kind of collect them. One question, am I planning on doing more Hodder Show music reviews? Definitely. I'm hoping to be doing one very, very soon. It all depends on the band. I can assure you that I will be doing a Dog Named Bob EP review when that comes out. Shout out to Martin, if he is still in the chat. I'm hoping to be doing Forsaken Empire very soon as well. Conflicted Reality. Very excited about that EP. So yeah, I definitely am going to be doing more EP reviews. That's something that's never going to die here on the Hodder Show. I enjoy doing them way, way too much. What's the deal with no wrestling talk? Feels like you haven't talked about it in forever. I need to explain this a little bit. So, I love wrestling. That hasn't changed. I've actually been probably watching it more lately than I have in a long time. Like I'm completely up to date on Raw, that hasn't happened in a long time. I kind of stopped talking wrestling because I started to get jaded about it. I would literally come on the podcast with, say, if I was with Ryan or Brandon or something, and I would be like, yes, I want to talk positively about everything because that's what I like to do here. And then like 10, 15 minutes in, I'd be bashing something. And I would just be like, frig, like, I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do here. When I talk about wrestling, I want it to be positive. So I kind of had to take a step back from it because I was finding myself, I'd be watching the product and like, I would just like start ripping everything to shreds, just like so many other people do. And I just wanted to stop doing that. So I kind of have backed away from it, but I do plan on starting to talk more about it in the future. Possibly the near future. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Adam, I don't believe I'm going to watch Justin Timberlake rock the stage. Prog Rocker, thank you so much for coming out, man. Thank you for being a part of Podbeard. Really appreciate it. Of course, I'm honored that you want to be a part of it, man. I really am. I'm very thrilled about that, and I'm super excited for the future of Podbeard. Everybody say bye, Nathan. Bye, Prog Rocker. So another question that I have here. Any quick tips for starting up a podcast? Yeah, don't do 2 episodes a week. That's my number one thing. But then people would turn around and say, well, wait a minute. Aren't you doing 2 podcasts a week now? Technically, yes. But I'm not recording 2 episodes in a week anymore. That is key. Because at one point, I literally would, like, Monday night, I would record an episode for Tuesday. Or no, sorry. I would, like, literally record an episode Wednesday night for Thursday. And then, like, Saturday night, I would record an episode for Sunday. And that was horrible. Like, that just, that killed me. And then when Brandon came into the picture and started doing production, what are you saying back there? All I can hear is... We're
making fun of Eli Manning.
Okay.
Hey,
All I can hear is... back. We're watching the damn Super Bowl back there. Oh, I'm not going to watch the Super Bowl. Oh, I'm going to boycott it. Oh.
Yeah, the Packers aren't in it.
Yeah. And again, thank you everybody who tuned into this instead of watching the Super Bowl. I very much appreciate it. But no, seriously, quick tips for starting a podcast. Make sure it's what you really want to do, because there is nothing worse than when I see someone start a podcast or something and then they get like 12 or 13 episodes in and then just quit. You know what I mean? Like, especially when I get really into it. There's a couple lately that I've seen that have started, and they've gotten like literally like 12 or 13 episodes in, and then they just stop, and there's nothing worse than that. It really sucks to see that happen. So definitely be sure that you are into it. Any kind of entertainment or, creation or anything, you definitely want to make sure you are fully invested in it and into it before you start doing it. Just like I knew I was with this, but it was still, it took quite a bit before I really was like, okay, this is my hobby. This is what I do on my spare time now. While still trying to, be a gamer and stuff like that. Play some guitar once in a blue moon. Am I going to talk more conspiracy theories and unsolved mysteries, paranormal stuff like that? Definitely. As the Hodder Show moves forward, obviously I don't talk gaming on the show anymore because of Two Guys in a Game. So that does leave a bit of a hole because I would talk gaming sometimes with people. But I think that anyone who knows me knows I'm a big sissy when it comes to paranormal and ghosts and horror movies and stuff like that. And it's something that I wish wasn't the case. Like my wonderful girlfriend that loves horror movies, and I hate them. I have what you call a hyperactive imagination. So I'll watch one scene from a horror movie, and then I won't sleep for like a week. Or I shouldn't say I won't sleep. I won't like to be alone for like a week. And you can attest to this. I'm not sure if she's still in the chat, but babe, if you are, you can attest to the fact that it doesn't matter what it is. For God's sakes, we watched a movie that's not even a horror movie, and I had nightmares about it, just because of one scene, and I was like, yo, I can't do this. But that's something I do love to talk about, like paranormal and stuff like that. I think it's really interesting, especially considering I have had some paranormal encounters in my life. Talked about it on the Gigs of Ghost. Let me try that again. Excuse me. The Ghosts of Gigs music episode I did with my boy Izzy Buddha. That was really cool. A lot of people really did enjoy that episode as well. So that is definitely something I'm going to talk about more in the future. The conspiracy theories episode went over really well as well. Everybody just saw the producer. I missed that, but I just saw it. A little bit of a delay on the camera here, but that is something I'm going to talk more in the future. And as far as the unsolved mysteries and stuff like that, see, Brandon's not a fan of it, but I get more people hitting me up about that than I do anything. As far as people who aren't regular watchers of the show, when I did that first one, it was kind of a stretch. Like I didn't really know what I was talking about. I just kind of BS'd my way through it. And I had people who never listened to my show before. Quite a few people, especially people who I know in how I had family who never listened to the show before, and they were like, "That was really good. I'm going to listen to your show from now on." So it's something that I do find interesting. As much as I'm not a person who likes to question things, and I talked about this on last week's episode talking about conspiracy theories, how I'm not a person that is a conspiracy theory person or anything, but I explored because I think it's interesting and because people have asked me to talk about it before. So it's something I definitely want to explore more because I think it's interesting. And as far as the paranormal and that, as much as it might literally scare me sometimes to talk about, when I did that Ghost of Gigs music episode, man, that freaked me out. Kind of recollecting some of those stories, because I hadn't talked about some of those stories ever before, really, and it scared the crap out of me. So, and I think just as I grow as a person and mature as a person, I'm hoping maybe eventually one day I can get over that, my fear of horror movies and that. I feel like now, the next time, so babe, I'm telling you right now, the next time there's a horror movie you want to watch, I kind of want to give it a try. And just see how I do. See how far I get. Adam, sorry, buddy, I missed your thing in the chat there, but thank you very much for coming out, man. Enjoy the halftime. Thank you very much. But you won't watch anything paranormal. Yeah, it's right. I won't. But I like reading it and talking about it. I don't know. It's weird. But because I do listen to. Of course, she picks Insidious 4. Let's go. Oh God, babe, you're killing me. You would pick Insidious 4. What was the one we watched? It wasn't even really a home movie. It was really stupid. And it was about the kids who went to go see their grandparents, but it wasn't really their grandparents. I don't remember that one. Brandon would like to know what's your next idea for a Hodder Show, like a movie review, TV series review. Brandon, do you mean a different show or a different segment on the show?
No, a different topic.
A different topic. Oh, okay. Oh, that's okay. So Brandon says topic.
You do EP reviews.
Yeah, I do EP reviews and.
What's the next?
Mm-hmm. There's so many movie review podcasts out there that I want to completely stay away from that territory. Kaz and I may kind of once in a while, we kind of dove into Star Wars a little bit, and I can guarantee you guys that in an upcoming episode we're going to be talking about The Last Jedi. for sure. But I've really been enjoying. There's a couple shows I really enjoy. Actually, I just finished speaking with Mr. John Ward. We are going to talk about a TV show on an upcoming episode of the Hodder Show. We're going to be talking about a TV show. And I've also really been enjoying certain TV shows like The Punisher. I really enjoyed that whole series. So I could talk about that, but I don't know. I don't really like the EP review and stuff like that. That's so easy for me because I'm such a music fan. Maybe I talk podcasts and I review podcasts. I don't know. Maybe I talk about podcasting tips. I don't know, Brandon. Do you have any recommendations in the chat that you can say? Because I got nothing. I'm just gonna kind of talk about whatever I feel like. That's what the Hodder Show has grown into. I talk about what I want to. If someone has something they want to hear me talk about, obviously I would love to talk about that. But at this point, it's something that I do on my my free time that keeps me entertained and hopefully entertains you guys as well. That is my main goal, but it's still something I do for myself to have fun. The Visit, that was it. The Visit. Yeah, that movie, that was supposed to be a really scary horror movie, and it was just weird and stupid, and there was a diaper. I don't know. That was a weird movie. That movie freaked me out like real. Like I was like, okay, like having someone put a diaper in your face, that's real shit right there. That is a fear, okay? Brandon, 10 ways to get the girl to message you back on Plenty of Fish. Episode idea. Okay, Brandon. Well, see, but like, I was about to say, I don't like, I don't know. I feel like that's almost a Mikes and Beers topic. I don't know. I mean, I did meet my girlfriend online, so I guess I might know something about it. But, babe, how'd I get you to message me back? Was it just because I was so just drop dead gorgeous that you just couldn't help it? Or is it just because you were like, meh, he lives close, I'll give it a shot. It's the worst that could happen. Brandon says, you've been in a steady relationship for a long-ass time now. You know how women work better than any of us. Joke's on you, because I don't. No, I like to think that... what'd you say?
No, it's just...
God.
It's just what he would say about that. I said no.
Is online dating the new thing, or will meeting face-to-face come back? To finish my previous thought, I don't think I know women in the sense of... I'm just a big goof, and I make lots of mistakes, but I try, and if I can be even half as good to my girlfriend as she is to me, then I think I'll do okay, at least for the most part. And that's just me getting sappy for a minute, but that's the truth. Because she's very wonderful to me. So if I can be half as good to her as she is to me, I think we'll be okay. As far as the dating thing, I think it's gonna get worse, Ryan. I feel like with Tinder and stuff like that, even though Sam and I were talking the other day about the fact that like apparently Tinder's like literally like the new dating app now. Like people aren't necessarily using Tinder anymore to just hook up anymore. Which is, in one way, I think is good. I think more people need to be open to actual relationships. That's my opinion anyway. But, I mean, I think meeting someone online is a wonderful thing. I mean, it worked wonderfully for me. I think about it just literally yesterday was the day that Sam and I became Facebook friends, which might seem like kind of a silly thing, but without that one thing that happened, which was Sam, we wouldn't have had what we have, and like the best thing that ever happened to me never would have happened. So, but then with us meeting face to face, obviously, like we knew we had a connection. We knew there was something there, but still, I think the best thing to do was to try and, not let yourself get too, that's the best way to put this. Let yourself get too caught up in the whole online thing. Meet the person face to face as, like, I knew, I was just kind of, okay, like, this girl's awesome. Like, I have nothing to worry about. But with some people, you'll go on a date with someone online and then you'll be like, whoa, you are nothing like I thought you were. And that's a crappy feeling, especially if you've already, say you've put a couple weeks into this person, like talking to them back and forth and stuff like that. It's a letdown. Not everyone can be as lucky as me, but I definitely think that the face-to-face things would definitely make a comeback. But people are so weird nowadays. You have to be careful. You just walk up to some random girl in a bar and be like, hey, how are you? Like, you never know what can happen. So, and of course, Brandon, will we be getting a sex tips from TJ Hodder Show? Probably not.
Hold on, you don't have to use personal life things.
Well, I mean, I did talk about Brandon says I don't have to use personal experience.
And then manifest them into
Okay, sure. Yeah, again, I thought that's a good Mikes and Beers topic. Perhaps. Let's talk sex with TJ. That could be, yeah, okay. I'm on board with that, maybe. That could be funny.
It'll be like weenie in the butt, but different.
It'll be like a weenie in the butt, but different. That's classic. So we're getting ready to wind down here. Thank you very much to everybody who came out to this. Something that, one thing that I did want to, kind of a question that I wanted to answer that I have on my little list here. My favorite episode from the past 50 episodes, not of all time, but from the past 50 that I've done since the last LiveCast. To quickly answer that, episodes 125 and 126 were the ones that I had John Ward interview me. And that might sound a little silly that they're my favorite, but the reason why I liked them so much was just the way that it was pulled off. Like, he did awesome. He did exactly what I needed him to do. He asked me questions that engaged me and made me think. And I said to him afterwards, I'm like, you're a great interviewer. Like, you made that whole thing. Because that was something that I kind of wanted to do because I thought it was kind of silly, like, have yourself on your own podcast. But I think we pulled it off. I really enjoyed episode 136 was the Ghost of Gigs Music episode. If you guys haven't heard that episode, I definitely implore you to go and check it out. It is I think it's a great episode. As far as from the aspect of just storytelling, I think it's one of the best episodes I've ever done. Two more episodes I really, really enjoyed was episodes 140 and 141, which was my interview with Duckfeet. The reason why I love those episodes, they were great guests. I've had some amazing guests on the past 50 episodes, and I don't mean to single out Duckfeet as being the best guests, but the reason why I really love those two interviews, they were huge confidence boosters for me. And what I mean by that is afterwards, I was kind of like, I felt like that went pretty good. Like, I felt like I was kind of coming into my own as far as an interviewer, because that is a hard thing to do when you're sitting across from somebody, across from somebody you've never met before, because I never met these guys before, and you're talking to them. You want to try and get comfortable and kind of have a bit of a chat with them before you do the podcast, but you don't want to necessarily ask them stuff you're going to ask them on the podcast. You know what I mean? And I felt like with those two episodes, I really did that. I feel like we all felt really comfortable with each other when we started. And we talked, we kind of bullshitted for maybe about half an hour. But we didn't really get into anything that I asked them on the show. So I think it was just great because I really felt like I did well. And to the point when the producer says like, hey man, that was a good episode, or hey man, like, he literally said to me, like, you've really come into your own as an interviewer. And that was cool because it was a huge confidence booster to the point where now I pretty much feel like I could interview like a water bottle and probably do okay. Maybe not, but I definitely feel like I know who I am as an interviewer. I know what I want to ask. I know where I want to get to in the conversation. I know if I ask someone a question, then they kind of maybe steer off on something they shouldn't really be talking about, in the sense of if I'm going to ask them about it later in the show, I can kind of steer it back without it being obvious. It just comes with experience and with time, and I'm sure as time goes on, I'll get better. And another episode I really, really enjoyed was episode 144, which was the Best of Ontario Music episode. I really think that, again, that was a great episode because of how it was pulled off. All the bands were super stoked to be a part of it. I got a lot of support from the bands on that. And when I asked, there was a couple bands I was almost afraid to ask just because of how much of a following they have. I was like, I don't know. I'm like, who's this Hodder Show guy? Like, we don't got time for you. We're this awesome big band. I am obviously saying that tongue in cheek. And they were all awesome, and they wanted to be a part of it, and they were stoked. So I was very, very hyped for that episode. So we'll do one last check of the chat here. If there's anyone in the chat who has a question, we'll do a couple more questions in the chat here. Yes, Kaz. By the way, I did think of my thing, my 3 words I always say, because I would be remiss if I do not implore you all to explore my catharsis. Yeah, that just happened. Boom! I just dropped my 3 biggest words I know. Explore is not a big word, but remiss, implore, and catharsis. Those are like my 3. Did I say catharsis? Like I got it from a Machine Head song, but like that is a word that like I've never heard before, and I heard that word and I was like, that is dope. Like, what is that? And now I try and use it. That is a shirt, Brandon. Absolutely is a shirt. 148 out of 149 was amazing. Loved it. Those were great episodes. The episodes I did with Brandon Hastings, with Boy Stick, and then the Conspiracy Theory one were all great episodes. I really feel like the last 50 episodes have been, like, I really feel like I've fully, really, since like episode like 80, I really feel like I've tapped into exactly what I want to do with this podcast. There was a little while there where I would kind of try and talk about topics and almost make this like a, almost sometimes an informative podcast in a way, and that's just not me, but I think that we've really hit a stride with this show, and I think that, we're only going to grow. I'm super thankful for everybody who has supported the show from day one and who continues to support it. Coming up for the LiveCast and that. I say this every LiveCast, but I want to do more LiveCasts because I have so much fun doing them. They're always so much fun to sit and hang out with you guys and answer questions and BS around, and definitely I'm probably going to do more live stuff as far as like Facebook Live and Instagram Live and stuff like that, because they're always a lot of fun. So definitely, if you guys have not, definitely be sure to check the Hodder Show out on the Facebook, on the Instagram, and the Twitter, all under the Hodder Show. Be sure to give us a follow, subscribe to us, however you listen to the podcast, whether it is on the SoundCloud, on the iTunes. If you're on Podknife, definitely go ahead and give us a subscribe and a rating on iTunes. Definitely be sure to give us a rating. However you listen to this podcast, if there is a way to rate and subscribe, please do so. We very much appreciate it. If you would like to listen to the podcast on the Podbeard Network website, you can do that. Again, that is podbeardnetwork.com/The Hodder Show. Everything is there. A direct link to the SoundCloud, the iTunes, Stitcher, Facebook feeds there as well. And there's actually also a player for all 149, now 150 episodes of The Hodder Show. Much more to come. And I'm trying to think if I forgot anything else. Nope, I don't think so. Shout outs to the producer, Mr. Brandon Baum, for everything he has done for this podcast and for once again allowing me to use his luscious, brilliant studio here at Boner Studios. I'm going to get that name over, I swear to God. And thank you guys very much for tuning in. For those of you who have stuck with me through this whole LiveCast, thank you very much. I hope that you guys had as much fun as I did with this. This podcast will be up probably within the next hour or so on the SoundCloud and everything. So be sure to check it out on there. Very much appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you very much. And I will catch you guys next time on the Hodder Show. Take it easy, guys.